England are through to the knockout stages in Euro 2024 after just having played two games, two goals scored, one goal conceded, kind of underwhelming. And James, I'll be honest with you, I just wanted to open up the conversation with you on England. I wanted to get deep in the weeds tactically, if you wanted to go there. I wanted to go into Gareth Southgate and his management. I wanted to look at maybe are we judging it too harshly based on where we're at? I just wanted to have this really kind of broader English conversation with you. Happy to go for 10 minutes, happy to go for 20 minutes, whatever you like. Um, a lot of the narrative around the Euros so far, I think, from a lot of fans, and I think me included, and the concern is, and first of all, I'd like to say, England fans know that they're coming from a position of privilege. Being top of your group, only conceding one goal, and like being in pretty good shape going into your final group stage game to then have like we know we're in a privileged position. You know, we're not Scotland or we're not one of these teams that struggles. It's a very privileged position to be in. But it is the same old story with a team with high expectations who go up, seemingly kind of over celebrate the first goal, which I think is always a concern for me, then sit back. The average position drops. It's more defensive. The substitutions we see early on are not trying to stamp on the throat of the opposition to win a game. It's very defensive, conservative, very negative. Is that a justified criticism of Gareth Southgate, of the squad? You think actually it's a group stage, all you have to do is get through to the knockouts and then you just take it game by game until you get to the final? What's your take on the way England have played for these first two games? And James, let's be honest, under a lot of Gareth Southgate's regime, it's very much been lead and then the lead crumbles away.
In big games. It's a weird one, Jack, because we can be upset and we can speculate, but out of two games, 4 points. Yeah, 4 points out of six isn't too bad there. Yeah, but the thing that worries me, Jack, is the performance. I've seen teams go on to win Euros and not get the greatest results, like Portugal when they won the Euros. Granted that they didn't like it, they didn't get the results, but they had some really unlucky performances. Like I remember when they played against Iceland, was Iceland? They should have won the game. Ronaldo missed a penalty. This or that. Against Bulgaria, they had good moments there. It wasn't bad. England right now just look bad and disjointed. And Jack, I think it just comes down to a bit of everything. It comes down to the pressure of this England top for a lot of these players. They just can't handle it. I'll be honest with you, like simple as just the fact of everybody looking at them, a bit of overhyping them. Yeah. And sometimes and this might sound mad, but I feel everybody having too much of an opinion on how England are meant to play.
Right.
And you might think, James, how? Because I'm happy. Everybody should have an opinion. I have an opinion, but I feel with Gareth Southgate is that I don't know what goes on with other nations, but it's like everybody has a way that England should approach these games. Yeah, everybody wants to see Phil Foden. Everybody wants to see Jude Bellingham, and to be fair, everybody wants to see Harry Kane. He's given you all of that.
Do you know where I think that comes from? I think that comes from a guy who's never succeeded as a club manager. So I think it's very, very easy to adopt the position and the opinion. Well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's in God's pocket in relation to his national team because, like and I know this is a bit of a cliche, but he's got the best player in the Spanish league, maybe Vinicius Junior, but let's say it's Jude for argument's sake. He's got the best player in German football in Harry Kane, right? Jamal Musiala. I know there are some other guys, but let's say it's Harry Kane. He's got the best player in English football. Let's say Phil Foden. Some may argue Cole Palmer, whatever. He's got this kind of embarrassment of riches going on, but this guy's never really succeeded at club level. So actually, anytime he makes a mistake, well, he's a rubbish manager. I've seen him in previous jobs, and he's a useless manager. That's why he could never do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. That's why I think that gets attacked at him. And I think that's why, like you say, opinions are like, you know what? Everybody has one, right? Doesn't necessarily mean they're right or that they're actually any good. So I think that's, to be fair, where the criticism comes from. And I'll be honest with you, I find a lot of the criticism justified. A lot of the criticism justified. I mean, you're a coach. The average position from when you go from leading a game to dropping back, that's, I mean, that's coaching, surely, because we're not taking a bunch of guys who play for mid-table, low-level teams. We're taking the vast majority of the starting 11 are Champions League winning, Premier League winning, possession dominant players in possession dominant teams. So this, to me, especially against the caliber of opponent we're seeing, just should not be happening.
Jack, it's a balanced argument for me. It really, really is a balanced argument. Does Gareth Southgate deserve the blame? Of course, the majority of the blame should go down to him because ultimately he's the manager. He picked the players, he picked the squad, he picks the tactics, he picks a lot of the stuff there. But to me, it's a couple of things. You mentioned, oh, England have the best this, the best that. A whole load of nonsense. A whole load of absolute nonsense. Yeah, because you guys want to build up. Granted, all had some good seasons there, but I don't think Phil Foden's the best player in the Premier League. I don't think Jude Bellingham's the best player in La Liga. Harry Kane could be the best player in the Bundesliga. Yeah, we can have that conversation there, but you might need to just chillax on that. But let's look at the game. Yeah, you guys want to fit in Phil Foden. You guys want to fit in Jude Bellingham. Obviously, Bukayo Saka has to play. Yeah, the balance around that just doesn't work. And I look at England, and my biggest thing is that Spain, for the last 20 years, have had a philosophy. They know, no matter what manager comes in, they play a similar style. It might be tweaked a bit, but it's a similar style. Yeah. Spain possession base. Germany in the last 10 to 15 years have took up that little possession base type of way, playing a high line, being really, really aggressive, pressing from the front. That never changed. Yeah. Since Didier Deschamps has came in, he has been the exact same way. Very pragmatic, and then he has amazing individuals that's going to find a way. Yeah. I like as you always do, Antoine Griezmann and Mbappe. What's England's overall tactic? Because because
I
because
think
I because I think it fluctuates in the last 10 years. It fluctuates. Oh, we're a high pressing team. Oh, we're a team with a low block. Oh, we like to keep the ball. In fact, we like to sit back and hit people on the counter attack. We like to press. It's all over the place. And because of the fact it's just been all over the place and you never really have an identity, players can come into a situation and not really know what they're doing. No matter what, take the manager out of it. I think every Spanish player knows what they're doing. Yeah. Take 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 the manager out of it. I think a lot of German players know what they're doing. They know who they are. I don't think England as a nation, in terms of the international scene, know who they are internationally.
well,
And that's to me the biggest problem.
the other thing that bothers me as well, how often on your social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, do you see the France 11 that isn't making the Euros? And there's a couple of players on the day where you go, he's not making the team. William Saliba, I think, for the longest time, has been a top five centre back in potentially the world, but for whatever reason wasn't making the grade or making the team for France. France are blessed with central defenders and defenders just generally. But Didier Deschamps doesn't play a back five or a back six so that he can have Konate, Upamecano, William Saliba, Rafael Varane, whatever, just to fit all these players in because, well, it's so and so they have to play. He finds a way that he wants to play. He finds the positions that he wants to play, and he fills those positions. The best example I can give of that is at left back. I can't believe Luke Shaw is going to this tournament of having not played football since February, and that we're starting with Kieran Trippier, who's not a left back. He can play there, but he can play there in the same way that any player who can control a ball and has a bit of spatial awareness, a little bit of attacking nous and knowledge, and a little bit of defensive nous can do. Why is Alfie Doherty not in this squad? Why is Turek Mitchell not in this squad? Why is Ben Chilwell not in this squad? Why do we not actually have a fit left back in the squad? Because a certain player has to make it because that's who the player is. I don't understand that. We've seen plenty of teams where you go, I can't believe that guy isn't in that team. The reason why that guy isn't in that team is because it doesn't make sense for that guy to be in that team. We need a player of a certain profile who fits a certain position to be able to do it. And I don't think England do that. I think it's insane that even if you can take a full squad, England are playing a right back as a left back. England are playing a guy, Phil Foden, off the left. That's not really his position. I know you're trying to cram him in and do whatever. How many times have we seen players who should be in the team? If it doesn't benefit the team, they're on the bench or they don't go at all. I don't understand why England can't adopt that.
But Jack, to me, it's like we take everything as a catch-22. If England are playing the way that they're playing right now, Phil Foden wasn't in the team. What's Gareth Southgate doing? Why is Phil Foden not playing? Play Phil, like, what it's like. I feel
But
like in that situation, he really can't win. He's giving you what you want. He's giving you your Jude Bellinghams. He's giving you your Phil Fodens. He has to find a way to play him. Yeah, Saka has to play. Yeah,
Saka
Rice
has to
has to
play.
play. So
Yep.
so he can't fit everybody. And I'm seeing, Palmer hasn't been given an opportunity. And I do agree, in fact, that the minutes is unacceptable because he should at least get a few minutes there. But he just can't fit everybody into the starting 11.
For
Go,
me,
go on,
the
Jack.
performances and the results justify your choices. France don't win a World Cup or win a Euros or a Nations League or whatever, and a nation goes, I can't believe Saliba didn't make the squad for one of these. Like, that doesn't happen because they've won. For me, in an England shirt, if you actually have a left back who's fit and available and goes to the tournament and maybe means that Foden can actually play in the spaces he wants to play in, offers a bit of width, offers a bit of an attacking outlet on the left hand side, even if it is somebody inexperienced, Tarek Mitchell, Alfie Doughty, these kind of guys that I've kind of brought up, even Ben Chilwell, I know he's not in great form, but whatever, then you can say, well, yeah, he's totally justified in doing that because we've won that game by 3 goals and we looked more convincing. And maybe there's an article or the buzz around the news is, wow, a bit of a gamble because I'd have gone for so and so, but it's actually paid off. I think the results and the performances would justify any decision because all that's happening at the moment is he's bowing to, well, we just have to crown these guys in this team. And for whatever reason, it does not work.
Um, Jack, just talking about from a tactical standpoint, what is the issue with England right now? At times, to me, I feel like it's either England's in possession are very too deep and like too close together,
Yep.
or players are too far away from each other to get these combinations. Yeah. Secondly, I feel like certain profile of players are in there does not cater to players like a Phil Foden, players like a Jude Bellingham who want to play in the pockets and like in the half space. So, for instance, right now, England, yeah, have Harry Kane wants to come towards the ball. Phil Foden dropping almost. There was one time Phil Foden was literally on the goalkeeper's 18-yard box
Yeah.
asking for the ball, which is nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude coming towards the ball. Bukayo Saka doesn't run it in behind as much. That's not his game. He
No.
wants the ball to feet. He might spin in behind once in a while, but he's not breaking his neck to run in behind. The probably one player runs in behind in this England team who starts right now is probably a Kyle Walker. And again, it's a lot to be busting your neck going like think about it going back and forward. Right now, they don't complement each other. The
No.
best of Harry Kane when he drops deep is what? Having a player like a Son, or like if you take it to the Bundesliga right now, a Sane, a Coleman, a Gnabry
Oh,
running off him and like making runs for him. Yeah.
there's a
So Harry
reason why
Kane's dropping
Kane has been so successful for Bayern Munich, even when Bayern Munich haven't been good, because it suits him. It's a good signing for them. Yeah.
100%. And secondly, Harry Kane isn't a patient striker, Jack.
No.
He can't stay up there and occupy two centre backs. Why? Because to me, he's lost a few steps. Yeah, can still buy fouls and bring people into play once in a while, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing that he used to do. And when he does drop deep, Jack, he drops deep and he sees Phil Foden right next to him. He sees Jude Bellingham over there. Jude Bellingham does make a few runs, but it's it's too close. Yeah.
Like,
And then secondly, taking it back to the two centre backs right now. I applaud what Gareth Southgate has tried to do and try to see this experiment with Trent like Alexander Arnold. Because let's be honest, Jack, how long has people been calling for this to happen? It's been Jack,
not
Jack.
not me, but I know
No, no,
people
no,
have.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. But a lot of people
People
has been
have.
asking for this
People
to
have.
happen. A
Yeah.
lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's gone for it. The issue with it right now, and I'm seeing a player like a Phil Foden. Yeah, and granted, his performance hasn't been good enough right now. But the amount of times I'm seeing him with his arms up in the air, and much I don't like that, I can understand it, Jack, because he's in prime position to receive the ball. But he's used to Man City where Roger gets the ball and his first look, I'm going to pick you out every single time. Right now, he's playing for England right now, moving into these little pockets of space where he can hurt teams, but that ball isn't coming into him. Declan Rice, at the amount there was a video of him, you know, looking up but not looking forward. scared to play that pass. Maybe, and Trent to me is like his passing range is there, but it's more of a long distance passing range. And because everybody's so clustered, he
Yeah.
can't show everybody how great his range is
Also,
overall.
what's the biggest pass that you can do? It's from fullback to opposite wing. So I'm not saying Walker needs to be kicked out of the team, but I'm saying Trent still has that asset at right back. Rice can still come and receive the ball short. Centre back split out wide. He can still receive the ball on the halfway line when you're in possession trying to build play. If he sees Phil Foden or whoever it might be, Anthony Gordon out on the left wing, he can still do that pass. He doesn't need to be in midfield to do that. We know he has that ability and that skill from his time initially spent at right fullback for Liverpool. I don't see the need for him to be there at all. What I want to do before we get too carried away and get kind of sucked into this conversation, Gareth Southgate's been sacked. James McInjola, with his wealth of experience and his coaching badges and his education in football, has been offered the job and been given the job. Give me your either starting 11, give me the kind of patterns you want to do. It doesn't have to be in super detail. We're not going to have a 3 hour debrief here. What would you do as a manager, as a coach, to attempt to fix what you see as potential issues for England?
What is it with the current squad right now?
Yeah, current squad right now. What are you taking into the Slovenia
As
game?
in,
Formation,
okay,
players. Who are
well,
you moving around? What are you doing?
just a quick thing for people right here. Stop asking players to do things that they do at their club, which is just not like, which doesn't apply to international football. So I'm hearing people goes, "Oh, why doesn't John Stones dribble the ball out, yeah, into midfield?" This isn't Man City. Guardiola isn't at the sideline, and if he does lose
Right,
the ball, the transition will be mad.
right,
Yeah, only Guardiola does that. He only looks good doing that with Guardiola. Only. Yeah, stop asking him. Nobody's Pep.
and
Gareth Southgate
Rodri.
isn't Pep. Like it rubs me crazy why people go, "Oh, but he does this for Man City."
Yeah,
Guardiola's a maniac who can get players to
right.
do things. No one can do like I get so mad when I see things like that. But what would
Yeah,
I do, Jack? I would it's a to me, England are already through. I would experiment. So, couple things. It's either this way: you bring in Kobe Manu, or like you bring in an Adam Walton next to a Declan Rice. For me, take a chance, do something, do something a little bit different there. What I also want to do is keep the back four the way it is, keep the goalkeeper the way it is, but either ask Jude Bellingham to play next to Declan Rice. Granted, you lose a lot from him. You're going to lose the goals from midfield, but I will ask Phil Foden to play in that little 10 area and then put an Anthony Gordon out wide. That could be a little solution there. That's probably the only sort of thing I could see. But Jack, what would probably happen is just Conor Gallagher will replace Trent and will keep the exact same thing. What I want to see from England right now is a bit of width. Yeah, that ball goes out to the wide area right now. I want to see a player who can be a player 1v1. I want to see a player who can move without the ball and make a run off the defender's shoulder. Just something a little bit, to me, a little bit different. It's either you play Phil Foden at the 10 or on the left hand side, or you drop him and you bring in something a little bit different. Honestly, let's see what Anthony Gordon looks like. Let's see what a Kobe Manu looks like there. Take a bit of a chance and see how it, and honestly, see how it goes. Because England really don't have that much to lose. You're already
No,
qualified. Yeah. Granted, you don't want to play a Germany team, and I totally do get that there. But you may see something in that game by trying something different that can take you that can push you further going forward. I don't think Portugal when they won it, Ronaldo Sanchez didn't start straight away. I think it was a game that he was put on and he came on, he really impressed him. Oh, Sanchez is balling now. Let's pop him in there. And like you see things with teams where it starts off away, and as the tournament gradually moves forward, you see changes. I don't believe when even France in that year, or I think France when they won it in 2018, the World Cup, they started off with Mbappe and Dembele, and coming to the end of the whole tournament, it was Blaise Matuidi who played. So teams do tweak stuff. There's nothing wrong with tweaking and making little adjustments here, like here or there. Just maybe being a bit too obvious is bit bad. Try
Well,
something a bit out of the box.
and also just again totally bending over to public opinion that all these players have to be forced square pegs in round holes. I know that's such a football cliche, but again, what do players who like playing in the middle need to be able to operate and play in the middle? They need space to operate in. How do you get space? Well, you have to drag players away. Well, how
Width
do you
and
drag
depth.
players away? You get width, you get depth. That means forwards who run in behind, or midfielders, attacking midfielders who run in behind, and wingers who stay wide, or fullbacks who stay up and
That's some
really, really
box to
wide.
box football analysis. You go,
Yeah,
Jack.
that's right.
Jeez.
But that is what happens. Ask anybody who plays in midfield, and then also on top of that, ask anybody who plays out wide if they like playing when loads of people are in their space as well, because that's not so fun either. Again, I totally agree with you. I don't know Luke Shaw's fitness. I think Luke Shaw transforms this team if he's in and available because he provides you that width immediately. Gordon has to come in and play. Trippier stay at home. Maybe Carl Walker's not in the team. Trent goes to right fullback if Trippier's gonna stay more. Maybe Trent gets more of a chance to go further forward if Luke Shaw's not fit. Again, for me, an Alfie Doherty, a Ben Chilwell, one of these kinds of names would have been in this squad in a heartbeat for me. Retrospectively, obviously everybody's a genius after the fact. And James again, a huge call, which I think England potentially need to make. I think Ollie Watkins potentially needs to start this game and maybe Harry Kane sits on the bench, which is a huge call, but I think it just needs to be done. Go ahead.
Last beat. We can talk all this nonsense. England win tomorrow, and their whole thing changes. I've
Oh,
seen you guys have seen football so much. If England go ahead and beat Slovakia 5-0, everything's different.
oh,
Oh, we're gonna win the Euros. It's coming
that
home.
that
All that stuff.
that is different, to be fair. To me, though, a 1-0 victory or even a 2-1 victory, or James, even a draw where England somehow still managed to blag top of the group, the intensity rises and the heat continues. I do not think the English fan base is accepting of finishing top of their group and being in the best position they can be going into the knockouts if they don't see the performance, because the confidence going into the more important game will just be an all-time low. The pressure on the players and on Gareth Southgate just gets higher and higher and higher. Guys at home, England fans, suffer along with me. What a horrible life this is. Top of the table, potentially an easier knockout game. It's really, really difficult being an England fan. The performances haven't been up to scratch. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do? Put your manager hats on. You've heard from James, you've heard from me. Drop a like on the video if you like what you've seen. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Do me and James a favor. We're on the road to 2000. We'd love you to help us get there. And until next time, me and James, we will see you.